Hello and welcome to Sports Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogbe, right here in Lagos Studios. Right, Austin will join me much later on the program, but today we'll be focusing on the African qualifiers for the FIFA 2026 World Cup. Nigeria and Gabon. Nigeria and DR Congo will be in action on Sunday for that final sport that will come from Africa. And after that, they had to go into six-nation intercontinental tourney that will be taking place in March in Mexico. So the winner on Sunday will be the one to represent Africa. You have all the teams already. The qualified ones that we know happens to be Bolivia, New Caledonia. You're going to be having countries from Asia and, of course, from CONCACAF and some other region across the world, except for Europe. So that six-nation tourney will be taking place in Mexico in March. Nigeria are eager to take that slot and go to the World Cup. All right, we'll also be counting down to the Africa Cup of Nations 2025 edition starting in December. Of course, it's 37 days to go, and lots of tickets have been sold. So it's already third phase of it. Almost 300,000 tickets have already been sold. So the third phase opened today, and the trophy is touring around the world. It started from Nigeria, South Africa, and of course, it's in France right now. From there, it's going to go to Cote d'Ivoire, and of course, before it lands in Morocco, where the tournament will take place. We'll talk about the tour taking place across the world on the show tonight. And of course, NPFL match day 13 will be getting our attention. The two bottom teams, Kano Pillars and Benin Insurance, they'll be in action this weekend. Who's going to take points from which of these teams will take the 3 points when they meet each other? They are struggling this season. These were clubs that when you mentioned their names 2 seasons ago, and last season they were always in top 4 or top 10. But right now, these two teams, well, most questions will be asked, but who will answer those questions? What's wrong with these two teams, Kano Pillars and Benin Insurance? They will be in action this weekend. We'll be talking about that. And of course, Super Eagles, yes, as we mentioned, is getting our attention. After that 4-1 victory over Gabon, the camp is buzzing. The media officer will be joining us on the show to tell us updates, the ones that have cards, the players that will not be playing against DR Congo. How many of these players are we going to be missing? Who is fit and who is injured? He'll give us updates on that right there from Rabat, Morocco, where the Super Eagles are currently camped. But right here in the studio, Kwemi is with me. Kwemi, it's been a long time, right?
I mean, it feels good to be back.
Yeah.
No, it's been a long time with you.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know how Yemi always hooked me up. He's always having me on his show. But it's an amazing time. The last time I was here as well was when we had the Hartford victory over Lesotho. Very important. And I think one of the victories that gave us the chance to be here.
Against Benin Republic?
Against Lesotho.
Okay,
before we now played the 4-0
victory
over the Cheetahs of Benin. But of course, we're here, and I think it's one of those defining moments, you know, where people tell you that when the team is pushed to the wall, they would always bounce back.
Yeah.
For a team that scored only 11 goals in 9 World Cup qualifiers, they've now turned around to score 8 goals in just 2 of those qualifiers. And I think it's just basically about where we are right now. Yeah. And I'll continue to say it. The reason why we're in this playoff in the first place is because of the unfortunate injuries to Victor Osimhen. If he's been in these qualifiers all the while with us,
really?
those four draws.
You're going to tell us that we cannot beat Benin Republic, we cannot beat Lesotho, we cannot beat Rwanda, Zimbabwe without Victor Osimhen.
Unfortunately, what we have on our hands is showing that we can't do that. We played 5 games that he didn't play. We drew 4, we lost 1. He came back, and he has already scored 5 goals in 2 games, 3 against Benin and 2 against the Panthers of Gabon yesterday. So just put it together. Probably the game against Zimbabwe, we didn't beat South Africa home and away. So if you have probably picked up 3 points from either of those games, we'll have booked our ticket and just be playing friendly matches and preparing for AFCON. But on the other side, I think this playoff is also giving us competitive games to prepare us for AFCON. So it's a win-win for us. I mean, regardless, we know we are playing with the fact that something is at stake. It's not a friendly match. So I think it's a win-win for us. It's a win-win for us
to go through this route. I don't see it that way, really, simply because your heart's always in your mouth when you're playing, and Sunday at 8 p.m. right there in Rabat, we're all going to be thinking about what will happen. We have to pick this ticket. And after that, there's still another tourney you need to play to get into the World Cup. So it's a long journey. I promise Afoge is ready to join us from Rabat in Morocco. He's going to be telling us updates what's going on right there in Rabat. Okay, Promise is not ready to join us. I think Austin, you ready?
And of course, everyone joining us on the show tonight. Always an action-packed sort of sports. The Super Eagles definitely will get us talking, Cecilia, particularly this big one coming up on Sunday. I'm not bothered because now they understand that they need to beat DR Congo, you know, to get to the intercontinental stage. So let's see what they can do. They've just concluded training. I'm sure that training would have been a very exciting one because of what happened in that game against Gabon. You know, that's what success does. So let's see if they can come out guns blazing again. I said it last night on the show that with this team now, it's 4-4-4. If they catch any team, you take 4. So let's see if they can give DR Congo that same treatment. But they need to be careful. The DR Congo team is a very compact team. They're a determined team. They're a team that can hurt anybody. You know, they just showed that with Cameroon. They were beating Cameroon for the first time in 28 years, you know, and when you have the tag of an underdog, you can actually, you know, get motivated in your own way. But hey, on paper, player for player, they do not come close to the Super Eagles in any way. So let's see if the Super Eagles can take another big step towards qualifying for next year's World Cup.
All right, let's get into the fixtures of that playoff that is taking place on Sunday. We'll give you a confirmation of the time and the place, and of course, how the Super Eagles is going to file out on that day. You know, all the big stars around, and so it won't be a problem. And you know, you have Victor Osimhen, so there won't be a problem. So just give you a confirmation of what it's like. So Nigeria, DR Congo, that's the CAF qualification playoffs for FIFA World Cup 2026. And so that game is on Sunday, November 16 at 8 p.m. Nigerian time, State Prince Mole Hassan in Rabat, Morocco. That's the venue for that. So it's a big stadium. And, you know, before now, the National Sports Commission mobilized the Nigerian Sports Club, all of them. And, of course, Nigerians across the North Africa to support the Super Eagles of Nigeria to victory. DR Congo, a very dangerous side. So we'll be breaking that down for you tonight before the media officer will join us to tell us, give us updates from Cameroon. Well, I'll start from you, you know. Yes, Austin just mentioned what DR Congo did to Cameroon. First time in 28 years, they were able to take out Cameroon. And, you know, before now, even before Nigeria played Gabon, people were already saying we are meeting Cameroon. And now, but it's DR Congo. And my Controlled News actually said something, you know, when we were in the newsroom, before the game, when we were watching Nigerian match. So he was saying that he would prefer us meeting Cameroon than DR Congo, because that DR Congo, they are very physical, you know, they are tenacity, and that actually came to playing against Cameroon.
I'm sure I share the sentiment of your news editor. I think a lot of people wanted Cameroon. I feel it's a familiar space for us. They're familiar foes.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe one of the rivals that we have on the continent, and maybe a bit more expressive in their game, because you know a couple of their players, and especially if they have Onana in goal, you can be rest assured that if Osimhen gets into that space, those goals would come. But against a DR Congo side that, just like Austin said, a bit of an underdog tag around them. But again, I still don't think they are underdogs. For every of the 4 teams that got into this playoff semifinals, you've got a chance. Look at the number of goals that Gabon scored coming into this playoff. One would have thought that they would give the Super Eagles a huge run for their money, especially with the experience of Aubameyang. He scored 4 goals in his last match before he got a red card before this playoff. So I think for me, it could be a bit dicey. So first off, the patriotic part of me thinks the Super Eagles would have a good game, decent win. Maybe not as open as the Gabon's game, but maybe we'll have a good win. The other side of me is also thinking that we're going to be missing a couple of our key players, one. And we've got a couple of our key players also that are close to a card from missing the next match Indeed, he's not going to be playing this one because of accumulated yellow cards, which is going to be a major factor. He was exceptional in that game yesterday.
Especially
he showed
when
quality.
Came on.
Exactly, he showed quality, he showed leadership, he showed consistency, and he gave that assist to one of the goals. We're going to be missing him in the next game. So we need that protection for either of our players that are balanced and ready to go into that one. I think the Super Eagles of Nigeria would have a good game against DR Congo. Maybe not that. The game against Gabon wasn't easy until we scored that second goal, and then the possession came in, then we totally dominated the game, and then the Gabonese just lost hope. So that was when we had that easy one, and we got those 2 goals. But against DR Congo, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be tougher. The guys will come in, you know, with the tackles, fly it around. They've got a couple of decent players too, by the way. Don't forget, Wan-Bissaka was in the thick of action yesterday, the former Manchester United, now West Ham United defender. And he brings the A game into it and all of that. But I think we've got enough quality.
Their captain, Chancellor Mbemba, that gave them a goal.
We've got enough quality in us. They've not beaten Cameroon in over maybe like 28 years or thereabout, if I'm not mistaken. And they did it yesterday, late into that game. We may not have all of the chances that we had against Gabon. So the few that we get, we should take them. We should definitely take them.
Yeah. The last time DR Congo played at the World Cup, they were known as a Zaire. That was in 1974. Now they are very close to taking it. Now, before we go to promise, let's look at the head-to-head record between Nigeria and DR Congo, the encounters over the years. Now, in 1966, Nigeria won 3-2, and that was on the 5th of November in 1966. That's a long time ago when that happened. And now, that same time, that same year, same month, but on the 26th, the return leg, DR Congo won by a lone goal. So Nigeria losing that by a lone goal. And that same year, 1966, on the 27th, of course, it was DR Congo 1 and Nigeria 0. That's how that ended, you know, for Nigeria and the DR Congo, the encounters they've had over the years. Now, in 2010, it was Nigeria winning by 5-2 against DR Congo. 2015, on October 8th, Nigeria losing at home to DR Congo 2-0. And 2018, it ended in a draw. Nigeria won, DR Congo 1. That's how that ended. Now, the encounter over the years, it shows that Nigeria got the edge. That's what we analyze here between Gabon and Nigeria. Nigeria also had the edge in that one. So Nigeria is having the edge in this particular game, but we'll see how it's going to play out on Sunday. So Promise Efoges joins us now from Rabat, Morocco. Promise, good evening. It's great to have you join us on the show tonight.
Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you for having me on your program tonight. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So what's it like in camp? I know the camp is buzzing, definitely, because of that resounding victory over Gabon.
It's no longer buzzing. Everywhere is quiet at the moment because the players understand the fact that the assignment is not complete yet. Beating Gabon silly yesterday would account to nothing if we don't win on Sunday. So they've been having meetings with the coaches. They've been having meetings amongst themselves. They understand what is at stake. I mean, what shall it profit you to beat Gabon and not beat Congo and pick up the ticket from Africa? So it's a case of, you know, going back to the drawing board and re-strategizing ahead of the game against Sunday. That is the most important game right now. And the Eagles will be facing that encounter with everything in them.
Facing everything. What's it come like? Do we have any injury worries, the players that will not be playing, and how does the coach intend to show off that before the game on Sunday?
I honestly can't remember the last time Nigeria played a game that would drag into extra time, you know, so it's apparent perhaps most of our players were not really used to, you know, playing 120 minutes before getting our results. Yesterday's game was grueling. I mean, it was nerve-wracking. I mean, it was one that got everyone at the edge of their seats, especially when we got into the extra time in that game. So people are a bit tired. It's understandable. A few knocks here and there, but nothing to worry about. There have been talks about Stanley Nwabali, who was in training today, and we'll see. We'll see by tomorrow. The doctors will confirm to us to tell us exactly what the situation is like with Sterling Bali. But I think with what I've seen thus far, it shouldn't be anything to worry about.
Austin?
Yeah, Promise. That game against Gabon was a mental one. What's the state of mind of these players? And are they speaking to themselves that, look, we can't come this far and then go back?
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, it was mentally draining going 120 minutes. But in life, the higher you climb, the stronger you become. So at this stage, there's no going back. There's no going back. There's no looking back for the Eagles. They've come this far. They would have wished they qualified automatically from Group C, but that didn't happen. This is a lifeline, and certainly, it's one they want to take advantage of. One game down, one more game to go. The players are ready. Mentally, physically, they are ready.
Let us put it out there officially. Will Wilfred Ndidi be missing, and how crucial is that miss going to be for the team?
Well, I had a conversation with the team secretary earlier today. He bagged the yellow card in the 62nd minute, if I'm not mistaken, against Rwanda in Kigali. And a second yellow card yesterday will mean he will surely miss that game. I had a conversation with the coach this evening, and he said he will miss the services of Wilfred on Sunday, certainly. But the good news is he's got alternatives in that very role. He's got alternatives that are equally good, that can fill up that position. Indeed, he's a leader on another position. We understand that. But in a situation like this, it behoves on the coach to re-strategize, rejig his squad, and find balance.
Promise. What are you hearing? Are the players murmuring bonuses, allowances? Hope we'll not hear stories that touch.
I'm not hearing anything. All I'm hearing is we'll go on Sunday to win, and win convincingly. That's the song that is being sung here in Camp Austin.
Okay.
Yeah. I knew she was going to go there again, because I remember when we were trying to get the story out of Promise on Tuesday, he went silent. He said, wait till make I talk. So I said that because we're actually focusing on the game. Really, it's important. No distraction at this particular point in time. I understand with the players, sometimes you need to fight when you know that if you fight at that particular time, they will listen to you. There are certain times you want to fight, they won't listen. But this particular time, they knew it was crucial, so they needed to do that. We are happy it's been settled according to the stories we are hearing, that it's been settled. I hope that's actually true. I know Promise won't tell us anything. We understand that is your job. But Promise, for you, let me ask you this question. When Osimhen missed that sitter in the 12th minute of injury time, what was going through your mind?
Same thing that was going through your own mind.
You wouldn't know
I was in the stadium, and I had my two hands on my head, because that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. That was very much unlike him, And moments later, I saw him having conversations with his teammates, and he later, told us, the backroom staff, that he was apologizing to them and telling them, "We're going into extra time, right? I will right that wrong." And exactly he did so. Yeah. Osimhen is a world-class player, and you may want to cut him some slack, because we've seen some of the best strikers in the world miss sitters. They are humans. They are not. They are not supernaturals. Yeah. Even the best strikers miss penalties. The best strikers miss sitters. Everyone would have expected him to tuck that into the back of the net. It didn't happen. But I think he scored two classier goals. Two classier goals in extra time, and that helped us bury Gabon. And so that is much more than enough to right the wrong for Victor.
Yeah, which he did excellently well. Before we go on a break, Promise, let me quickly ask, Kwame is in the studio. Kwame, you've been listening to Promise, concerning Ndidi. He said the coach is, plethora of players, many players in that position, so it's no problem at all. Are you worried?
I'm not. Promise is full of promises. And he's sounding quite motivational tonight. And that's how you soak in the pressure and the passion that comes with what you do. However, I think the team is also in a good place. Yeah. And I think just like everyone knows, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever if you get to beat Gabon and then you give us all of these expectations and then you now fall short against DR Congo. So I think the guys should be at this point absolutely full of concentration. We have a good squad in the Super Eagles. Maybe we're not exactly at the peak at which we think we should get to in terms of the potentials that we have in that side. But we've got a decent side. With Ndidi out, I think we've got Frank Onyeka. We call him the fridge. He comes in, he does the job. I'm not sure if we could struggle if any of our key players are out. From the goalkeeping department, I think if anything happens to Wambali, we have a solid backup in either Obasoge or Maduka Okoye in the defense. Semi Ajayi is going to be back. He was out also because of the last game. He comes back. There's Benjamin Fredericks. There is anybody in that back line. In the last game, we also missed Demola Lukman because of accumulated card. But now, I mean, this time around, anybody goes. Like they say, Soldier go, Soldier comes.
So no
the team remains.
Okay. That's it. We need to go on a break. We'll come back. Promise will be telling us how much the team know about DR Congo. Stay with us. Welcome back. Promise, I know you're still with us. How well do you guys know DR Congo team? I know you may not have opportunity to watch them live against Cameroon. Obviously, after that, I think the team may have reviewed that game to know how the coach will approach that game on Sunday.
Well, I've never been to Congo DR before. I don't know what...
The players, obviously, you have seen some of them play.
But, I mean, I want to assess them based on their performance against Cameroon yesterday. Like you mentioned, I couldn't see the game live, but I spent a couple of time monitoring them online. I checked the statistics first before finding time to watch the full game on YouTube. I saw the full game on YouTube, and I thought the statistics was not exactly what I saw, you know, on video. The stats show that they had more of the ball, right? But Cameroon had more chances in terms of the shots. And when I saw the game on YouTube, I actually thought Cameroon actually should have won that game, you know, if they were more clinical in front of goal. Cameroon had clear-cut chances to have won that game in 90 minutes before Congo DR had that lucky chance that gave them the slim one-goal victory. So they play 5 at the back. You know, they try to play low block and then hit you on the counter. I mean, a number of teams have done that unsuccessfully against the Super Eagles, I mean, in the course of the qualifiers. And I mean, it's usual for many sides on the continent playing like that against Nigeria because they know of the attacking prowess of the team. So I don't expect anything different against Congo. I expect them to line up almost same way they did against Cameroon, you know, have 5 men at the back, you know, soak up the pressure and try to hit the Eagles on the counter. But then we know the Eagles are also very solid at the back. At the end of the day, the better team will win. And we know that the better team here is the Super Eagles of Nigeria. You know, I can't imagine the Eagles not winning on Sunday after dismantling Gabon the way they did. Come on, Cecilia.
It's unthinkable. Who think about it?
You know,
we are not thinking about it at all. I know Austin is not thinking about it at all. It's unthinkable.
No, I'm not thinking about it. You know, particularly, I'm just rooting for the Super Eagles because they have been through so much with these World Cup qualifiers. They deserve that crowning glory to, you know, make it to the World Cup. So, Promise, what were the words? I know the coach normally does that briefing, you know, before and after the training with the team. What did he say to them today?
Well, I wasn't privy to whatever I said to them at training today. But we've had general meetings a number of times after that game against Gabon, and the coach has told all who cares to listen to him that the win against Gabon, as we speak, is inconsequential. The win against Gabon is in the past. The win against Gabon no longer matter, no longer counts, and so all focus is on the game on Sunday. And he's also been trying to speak to the psyche of the players. knowing fully well that they had a very long day yesterday. He's been speaking to the psychology of these guys and ensuring that they are mentally way above. Mentally stable and mentally ready for the task ahead. So Coach Eric Schell has been speaking. He's been talking to his players. He's been talking to the backroom staff. Today's training session wasn't so heavy. It was a recovery session, and the main training session will be tomorrow, which will be match day -1.
OC, promise. Thank you so much for your time. Always a delight to have you. Remember, you promised I will be at the World Cup. Promise, keep your promise.
We're almost there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So that's his promise. Afoge, our media officer, Super Eagles of Nigeria, giving us updates from Rabat, Morocco. Okpeyemi, did he say the things you wanted to hear?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we said, he's full of promises, and I hope we get to smile at the end of the game on Sunday. I'm sure by this time on Sunday, we'd probably have our hearts in our mouth, or we also expected that let's start making bookings ahead of the Intercontinental playoffs in Mexico. So I think he just literally just told us the expectations of the reality of what is in camp, in line with what Nigerians are expecting. And I'm sure they have the message as well. I'm sure a couple of them will have seen how Nigerians appreciated the win, how it lifted the mood, especially the series of events build up to that particular game, the training boycott, issues of bonuses being owed and all of that. The guys needed to have a statement win yesterday. And as much as I feel the extra time stretched them, I think I enjoyed the victory more. If Osimhen had scored that 12th-minute goal, it would have been 2-1 and just go. But, the joy of having to see Osimhen get those 2 goals, Ejike also getting his goal, the assist from Awazem. I think he's been very quiet in the team for a while. He needed that moment as well. I think we're in the good place.
Okpeyemi, you try. You like high blood pressure.
I don't want to be in that class, so I've left the classroom. All right, let's listen to the 2 guys you just mentioned. Chigozie Awazem, and also listen to Ejike.
We was working very hard and bringing my skill, going forward, and also, helping the team to defend. We're excited going into this game, and we're hoping or praying instead by the grace of God that we would be able to come out very outstanding and get the victory at the end.
It was really an amazing performance for the team, not just for me, but I'm really excited that I got some minutes, and also the win and the assist, and really happy that we got the win yesterday, which we deserve. And now we just focusing onto the next game on Sunday. We had the first game, which was the first step, and yes, we won the game, and now we already know what is at stake. We know that this is another step closer to the World Cup, so we just keep the same spirit, the same energy that we used in the first game, and we try to maintain the same energy and focus in the second game to make sure we get the victory, because with that, we're one step closer to the World Cup, so we want to achieve our dreams. So definitely going to miss him, but we have other players as well who can play the same position and who is good as well. So we trust everyone, the coach trusts everyone's ability, and I just hope that whoever comes in the position of Wilfredo is going to try to do better than him, or try to give it all so that the team can come out with a victory. So that's the most important. Just do your best for the team and for yourself.
Victory is important right now. Let's leave that there. Of course, on Sunday, we'll see what's going to happen between Nigeria and DR Congo. All right, 37 days to go. Talking about the Africa Cup of Nations 2025. Morocco, of course, is hosting once again. And 298,000 tickets have been sold so far. The third phase is on, and the countries that we have 3 countries from Africa buying tickets, 106 across the world. So it seems from the Netherlands, from France, from everywhere across the world. So people are buying the tickets, and Morocco has made it so easy for people to get into their country. All the fans have to do, download the app, and of course you log in, you get your visa for free. and that has actually helped a lot of people getting tickets. So this Nations Cup is going to be different from what we've seen, you know, in the time past, because what happened in Côte d'Ivoire last year have actually opened eyes of people that all eyes will be on this tournament. Is in December. You know, most leagues will be on break, you know, in Spain, and the US is trying to follow this, you know, the way of the Europeans now. So many leagues going to be on break. So they have time to actually sit down and watch this Nations Cup in December. Christmas and New Year, the players are busy playing, while some of us are, you know, right here, some are enjoying and some will be covering the game. But there's something different about this Nations Cup, what Morocco have actually done, especially demands coming from Morocco, France, Belgium, the Netherlands. More people are buying tickets to watch Nations Cup. So this edition is going to be different from what we've seen.
Morocco is raising the bar,
yeah.
And it's not just on the men's AFCON, even the women AFCON as well. Even the 8th grade competitions, under 17 World Cup, they're just flexing their muscle. They are showing that they have the facility, they have the structure in place, and they are not being forced to give account of how much they've spent on whatever FIFA is giving them, or whether they are building a stadium or not. And they've shown that even if you have to call them to stand in certain situations to host tournament, they've always turned up. And it's a growth, it's a process. Look at the stadium that we used to play against Gabon. That was the first official game that was held in that stadium. It's a new stadium. You saw that some of the seats are still covered, still not used. So it shows that when there are structures in place, some of these things are not rocket science. When you host big tournaments, there are templates that you can follow. Just do the basic things. And except the English Premier League that won't be on break in December, congested fixtures, the entire world is going to be watching AFCON. I really pity some of the clubs that would lose their players, especially teams like Manchester United, like Sunderland, like Liverpool. They would have, a lot of their players would have to come to AFCON, but it's Africa. It's our own, it's our time, it's our season. That is the only continental competition that will be happening at that time of the year.
All eyes.
It's an opportunity for Africa to showcase their beauty and their glory. And I'm liking the fact that Morocco is embracing that moment. And if they're making it easy like this, just like we saw, you know, how tourists came out after the 2010 World Cup to say they really had a good time. I'm sure the people visiting from Netherlands, from Germany, from the US, they will want to come out and say Morocco gave a good show, and I think that's what they are planning to do.
That's what they're planning to do, and that's why the journey of that trophy is going across everywhere. So just outside of Paris, it was there today. You know, it started from Nigeria, it went to Angola, South Africa. Next up is going to be in Côte d'Ivoire. So now our focus today is on Group D. Yesterday we'll talk about Group C, which had Nigeria. Another team that is in the African playoffs is also in Group D, and that's DR Congo that we just talked about. They had one coach since 2022, one of the longest serving coaches we have when it comes to national teams going to the Nations Cup. Now let's take a look at what these teams are like. You have about as usual, 4 teams in a group. So Group D is our focus for the Africa Cup of Nations. You have Benin Republic. They are here in Group D. And then you have Botswana. They released a 55-man list already. That's the players that are going to the Nations Cup. But with time, they're going to trim it down to 26 that will make the finalists. But they have 55 already. I think they're the first nation to actually have a list of players that are going to the Nations Cup. So these teams, they're actually ready. They're not playing any friendly. They are resting and just waiting to start preparations because they're going to be camping in Tunisia to have a feel of what it's like. So those other countries that you have Senegal also there. You also have Benin Republic. Now, Botswana and Senegal, they're going to be opening their fixture December 23rd. That's when they are starting precisely on Tuesday. And DR Congo will follow suit against Benin Republic same day. And of course, on Saturday, December 27th, Senegal, DR Congo will lock hands. Benin Republic and Botswana will wrap up on that day. And the final fixtures for this group was going to be on, let's see the final fixtures for this group. We'll just quickly take a look at that. On Tuesday, December 30th, you have Botswana, DR Congo, and Benin, and Senegal. So this is what their fixture looks like. Now, why all these countries, Benin Republic, of course, they didn't make it to the World Cup, the Nigeria group. Senegal are already, you know, right there, you know, one of the teams that qualified first for the World Cup. So what are they doing preparing for the World Cup? For Senegal, yes, for Senegal, they are having a prestigious friendly against Brazil. That will be tomorrow at the Emirates in London. They then go to Turkey 3 days later, where they will be playing Kenya, the Arabic Stars, Kenya in Turkey. And Botswana, as I mentioned earlier, they are resting players so that they can be caught up earlier for the December intensive pre-season preparations. That's what they call that, because they'll be camping in Tunisia ahead of that. For Benin Republic, after that disappointment at the World Cup, they have a single fixture window and they'll be playing against Burkina Faso. And guess where the game is taking place? Is in Casablanca in Morocco, November 18th. So Morocco is the home of football in Africa right now, because they have the best stadiums in Africa. It's not pride, but hey, they've developed their facilities. So all countries are going there. Just imagine the money that is coming in, you know, the tourism and everything. So develop your facilities, and they're making money, you know, hotels and everything. Austin, we can take a cue from this chat and just see what we can do. But Austin, these are the countries that are in Group D. You know, they're preparing, are ready, playing friendlies, and also getting their teams together. Especially for Botswana, they already have that 55-man list that they will be picking from for their preseason in early December.
That's right. They need that early preparation, because easy peasy, people will go at them and say that they will be the whooping boys. But hey, you'll be so wrong, you know, because Botswana, they have done so well in terms of sports investments. We see what they are doing with athletics. Cecilia, you saw that their women was no pushover at the last AFCON, you know, so they would want to really prove a point. This group is a very tricky group, very, very tricky, extremely tricky, you know. But so I would like to see what the small teams will do at this AFCON in December. As you guys alluded, is going to be a very unique AFCON. I said it last night on the show that this is one AFCON that we can use to sell African football. Shout out to Patrice Motsepe and his team. You can tell that there's been some strategic financial planning to this AFCON, and it's getting towards generating money, because people can actually go to this AFCON and see it as part of their holidays. You know what I'm saying? Some people that watch, you know, TV commercials, revenue will be massive because it's the holidays, you know. I can't just even try to imagine Christmas, they were watching AFCON. New Year, they were watching AFCON, you know. So you can tell that loads of planning has gone into it. Senegal, Benin Republic, DR Congo, and Botswana. Now, if you check the first three teams, they've got us talking already through the World Cup qualifiers. We are still talking about DR Congo. Benin Republic, we know the story, and how unfortunate they were on match day 10 with the World Cup qualifiers. That's the level of competition I'm talking about in Africa that is admirable, that we can actually look at and see ways to use to develop the continent's football. So I'm glad that the teams are getting ready. It's in December, you know, so teams are already looking at ways to, you know, wrap it up. We are using the playoffs as part of our preparation, but it's not the same, you know. I heard you say that, because tournament competition mode is different from when you're having these sort of marathons, and players know that, because it's mental. Competition mode, you win 6 games, you are in the final. So by now you should be making strategic plans on how to do that. So what we'll see, it's football where anything can happen.
Anything can happen, right? I mean, for Botswana, we mentioned earlier, 7 goalkeepers, 14 defenders, 16 midfielders, and 18 attackers. These are the players they've got to camp. They'll trim it down to 26, you know, required for the AFCON. They've got some time.
Solid team, no doubt about that. I think maybe a lot of people may want to underrate Botswana, thinking they could be the whipping boys in the team, and that would be a very, very grave mistake to make. For Benin Republic, I mean, the fact that they were very close to qualifying for the World Cup, and until they lost that game against the Super Eagles of Nigeria in New York by 4-0. Nigeria, Benin Republic, South Africa, all of us had the chance to qualify on match day 10. I mean, they have a manager that understands a little of African terrain. He's been with Nigeria before. I'm talking about Guerrero. They are definitely not pushover. For Senegal, I mean, former champions, I didn't know how the game is done. They lost the final at some point to Morocco. They came back, they won the final, and they've shown that they are that top dog, top draw. They are absolute favorite for this AFCON, not just contenders. They are favorite for this AFCON going forward. And for DR Congo, maybe they are not the underdogs. If they fall out of this African Cup of Nations, this playoff
when
rather.
They fall out of the
when they fall out of this qualifier, they will sit back and say, we had a good run. We had a decent side. We defeated Cameroon. We lost to the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the best team in the qualifying series. Either way you look at it. But they also look at that momentum and build and go into the Nations Cup is just 37 days away from here. And then you still play that. You know that after the Nations Cup, you know that, hey, I just sit back and allow myself to enjoy it. But for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, pre-Nations Cup, we are still playing. During the Nations Cup, we are playing the competition. After the Nations Cup, we're still going to play the Intercontinental. So the boys don't have rest.
That's all.
And then I think the beauty for us, maybe the biggest propeller we can get is if we win the AFCON.
Okay.
If we win the AFCON.
All right, we are winning it, right? I know we can do it again. Let's do it again. So let's go to the NPFL Nigeria Premier Football League, the 2025-2026 season. And of course, on Saturday, the games are starting. Benin Insurance and Kano Pillars. The bottom teams will be in action on Saturday. Let's go to the games for Sunday. So you're having Bayelsa United and Abia Warriors, Economy Warriors and Kwara United, Enyimba and Wicked Tourists. Ikorodu City went away to beat Warri. Warri Wolves, they will be hosting Plateau United right here in Lagos. School Caliphate and Nasarawa United in action. Niger Tornadoes and Katsina. Katsina, of course, after what happened, they won't be playing it at home anymore. Of course, 9 million naira they have to pay. Rivers United are hosting Warri Wolves, who lost at home to Ikorodu City, and Shooting Stars and Remo Stars. Now, this is the battle that will be happening this weekend. And the final game is going to be on Monday, where Barrow FC and Enugu Rangers will be in action. That's November 17th for NPFL. Austin, which of these games actually catch your fancy you're interested in?
I think this Enugu Rangers game is also a big test for them, because Barrow FC, they have shown these days that they can actually take on, you know, the big teams and see if they can get something out of it. So definitely that one. Rangers will also be looking for an away win. I think it was the last time I said it that it looks like Ikorodu City, or we're going to get about 2 different away wins, and it worked out that way because the NPFL this season has shown that teams can actually travel abroad and travel away from home and then get the results. It's still early days, Cecilia, but I just want a situation where we can feel where the league is going to now, particularly with teams and the way they are getting on with their wins. But with everything that happened in Katsina and how, you know, the NPFL handled it, I don't think we are as ready as I thought we were. Because I will come and talk about the games. This is match day 13. And things are already happening. We want to be able to see measures that will be taken so that at least from the second stanza, Cecilia, we can know that our football is going somewhere. Enyimba Wicked Tourists is also a good fixture to look at, just because I want to see if Enyimba can sustain their momentum. Rivers United Warri Wolves is a good South-South derby, should definitely get us talking also. So, yeah, that's about it. And then there's also the Southwest derby, Remo Stars and Shooting Stars.
I know that's where we will come in. Remo Stars and Shooting Stars.
Yeah, definitely. It's not been the best of season for Remo Stars. They've been losing. I think they halted their losing streak with a win. Then they lost again yesterday or thereabouts. But for Shooting Stars at the Lekon Salami Stadium, I'm not sure it's the easiest place you want to go to get a win. They will grant that. So it's a derby for us. It's a sweet one. But I'm also looking forward to the game between Ikorodu City and Plateau United. Plateau United will be in town tomorrow. And I'm sure they will certainly want to also watch it, especially with the opening game of the NNL also coming up this weekend. But for Plateau United, they've not really had the best of time. They have a new manager. You know, he's quite familiar with the terrain of Lagos football, being the one in charge of I've forgotten the name now before, but I think it's going to be like a homecoming for him. And let's see if he's going to be able to get Sporting Lagos, thank you. He'll be able to get a result. And Ikorodu start flying good right now. They've had away wins this season. They've had home wins this season. They're pretty comfortable. But I think we should start looking at Nasarawa United Football Club. They seems to be the surprising team of this season, the NPFL.
Okay.
Yeah, Cecilia. Okay. Yeah, Cecilia, I don't know how much time we've got, but yeah, interesting fixtures in the Nigeria Premier Football League. I just hope that they really, you know, give us reasons to come back to talk about the games. And definitely next week, we'll be coming back here to know if the Super Eagles have picked a ticket to the Intercontinental stage for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okunakpan, and in everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Remy, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah, I wish Super Eagles well.
Yeah.
So that when we're back next week, it will be a song of victory. I'll be praying for the intercontinental leg of the playoffs.
Intercontinental, right? March. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Have a good night's rest.